Aaron, obviously you're the son of someone who managed, and I assume you've thought a lot about managing. But in these last few months since you've got the job, has anything fallen onto your table where you were like, I wasn't expecting that one, and you could only know it because you are actually a major league manager now?
Yeah, I don't think I've been blindsided, frankly, to this point. And I say that out of reverence and respect for the position. Like, I understand there's going to be things that happen in the course of a season or, in the middle of the night that I probably haven't accounted for yet. But I would say to this point, I feel like I've jumped right into the organization, and it's an organization on such solid ground, from ownership to the front office, to the player development and research, and that's something that's come across to me. Like the stability of this organization from top to bottom has honestly taken me aback a little bit. I've been surprised at how solid, how stable everything is. And, I've just tried to kind of jump in and be a part of that machine, if you will. And the last few months have been really just getting up to speed with all our players, who they are, how we evaluate. But I would say nothing has caught me off guard yet, although I know it's coming.
Staying on the right side, Eric.
Aaron, you mentioned second and third.
Mm-hmm.
What else needs to sort itself out before you guys leave Toronto?
Yeah, I mean, I think, how we use the DH, how that's going to unfold. We want to be able to use that position to rotate guys through, to be able to, at times get guys off their feet in different situations. How the outfield situation ultimately plays out, and how playing time kind of gets divvied up. Who's going to emerge, to provide us depth in our starting rotation. We feel like we have 3, 4, 5, and maybe even more candidates that at some point could be options if a guy happened to go down. Or so finding depth, I think, in our starting rotation will be something we'll be watching closely, and something that I'm looking forward to seeing unfold, and kind of who jumps out and steps up in our eyes.
Front row to the left, Aaron. Marley.
Hi, Aaron.
Hello.
Every manager, not every manager, but a lot of managers develop a reputation. A tough manager, a player's manager, a technical manager. What kind of reputation do you want to have?
Hopefully a good one. Look, I want to be somebody that is known as a smart manager, that makes solid decisions, that's prepared, but also one that when you walk into our clubhouse, hopefully I'm a part of what I believe is a winning culture, but also a culture where guys are at ease, where guys are allowed to be themselves, where when you walk into our room, it's not a stressful place. It's a place where guys are at work and enjoy coming there to do their job. And hopefully I'm part of creating that atmosphere.
Randy, same row.
On a couple of the position battles, do you view Hicks as your starter and center? If so, what do you see the role for Ellsbury? And at second and third, is it possible that you guys could open the season with rookies at both positions? Is that something that's been talked about? Is that highly unlikely?
Well, first on Hicksy, I just saw him. He's in great shape. I think he's really confident. One of those guys that I think is really hungry to prove that not only last year was kind of him coming of age a little bit, but also that there's more to come. I think he's, really hungry. That said, it's a long season. It's a long spring training. And Jacoby Ellsbury, we feel like, has a lot of really good baseball left in him. So that'll also be something I think that plays itself out. As far as the second and third, absolutely. I mean, when we talk about Wade and Torres and Andujar, those are guys that are really knocking on the door to be big league ball players, and we feel like eventually impact big league ball players. So, yeah, I think it's a real possibility that that could happen. Again, that's something, though, that will play out over the next 5-6 weeks. And hopefully we'll make the best decision as we break camp and head to Toronto.
End of the first row, George.
Aaron, I assume you've toyed with lineups.
Mm-hmm.
Do you need to see things in 30 games to figure out what you're going to do?
Well, I need to see things from, from a standpoint of if we're talking about younger guys being a part of the mix from the start, absolutely. I think the lineup will kind of play itself out, and hopefully we'll get these guys comfortable enough that they're a little bit flexible, depending on if we're facing a righty or a lefty and those kind of things. But so we'll probably put guys in some different spots from a lineup standpoint here in spring training, but I wouldn't read too much into it, especially in the early days here. With how we construct our lineup. I mean, it's something I'm talking about all the time with my coaches, with the front office, about, how is it best that we line guys up depending on our opponent.